What's wrong with this picture? Something is missing here. I'm not feeling it. Hey everybody, welcome to another video. And in this one I am going to install the side cases for the Tracer. Now these cases come with the bike on the GT version, but when I received the bike from the dealer had not yet received the cases from Yamaha. So apparently they come from different places, and because they hadn't received it, they didn't install them. And then a few weeks later they called me, they said they had the cases and the mounting gear, so I could come by and they would install them. But I said, nah, I want to install them myself. So that's what we're going to be doing on this video. So let's take a quick look at what we need to install these cases. First things first, these two little things came with the bike. These are the locks for the cases, and they are built to work with the same key as the bike itself. So we only have one key to start the bike and to unlock each of the cases. So these are, let's say, unique to the bike. And I also understand that if you get a top case from Yamaha, you also get a key or a key lock that works with the key of your bike, so that will also be possible to open still with one key. Then next we have the mounting kit, which consists of some bolts that we will have to install and replace. These two big ass mounting brackets. So these ones go on the side of the bike. I believe they attach to the foot pegs or something like that. We will see in the video. There's some assorted brackets. I think we need these to install those. And then finally there's another bracket that goes across the bike from left to right, I think to reinforce something there. And of course instruction booklet. Now for this installation we do need Loctite, which is some kind of glue that you get to put on the screws so that they don't unscrew with vibration. I have that from other installations I've done in the past, so I'm definitely going to use it. The dealer did ask me, do you have this Loctite, because you need it, otherwise we cannot really let you install. I said, yes, I have it, leave me alone. And then finally the bags. So these come, there are of course two boxes. So as far as I can see, the cases are ready to be used, apart from the mounting kit, but let's see what it takes to install these. So as usual, I've already checked that everything that I need comes in the kit, so I'm sure I'm not missing any screws or any parts. I have also read the instructions in detail, so I understand exactly what we're going to be doing step by step. But then of course again I will have to follow the instructions to make sure I don't miss any screw or anything like that. First step here is to remove the passenger foot pegs, so that's what we're going to be doing. Now from my experience, when I removed these in the XSR in Portugal, why is this camera so low? When I removed these from the XSR in Portugal, these screws are extremely hard to remove, they're extremely tight. Luckily I have my big ass wrench here, so it's going to be easier than it was in Portugal. So remember when I said I had a big ass wrench and this would be easy? Well, I don't have one, so I'm going to have to use this Allen key. Now this is a pretty big one, so hopefully I can do it easily, but somehow I have the feeling it's not. We will find out in no time. Yeah, just as I imagined, this thing doesn't move a bit. No, it's not going anywhere. So this should give me leverage to break the seal on these balls. Here it goes. Even with this big ass leverage, it's still not easy. It's amazing how hard this thing is. Yeah, we go. So can you see there the residue in the screw, the green thing? That's the Loctite. I don't think I'm gonna be reusing these screws. I think there's different ones, longer ones, in the mounting kit. So the next step is to install this bracket together with the passenger foot pegs using the longer bolts that were provided. It's actually nice because these ones are black, so they look better on the bike than the original ones. And for these bolts we do need to use the Loctite. Is the plate. So let's put the Loctite at the tip here. This amount should be more than enough. It is very hot in this garage, so this thing is quite liquid, but... Alright, and now we have to tighten it to 27 Newton meters, which I have no idea what it is, and I do have a torque wrench, but I don't have an adapter for a 5mm Allen key, so I'm gonna have to do it by feeling. Now that's pretty solid there, it's not going anywhere. Also, I usually don't ride, well, I never ride with a passenger, so there will hardly be anybody putting their feet here. The biggest effort this will have to do is to support the side case actually. So next we have to install this bracket. This is fairly straightforward. There's 3 holes, as you can see here. There's 3 threads in the foot peg itself, and we just basically need to put the 3 screws with Loctite in place. Let me lower this a little bit so that you can see. And this is permanent. It stays like this after install. Of course you can always remove it, but that's not the idea. The idea is that it stays here. Focus there. So these are the screws that I'm going to be installing. They're ugly, but they stay inside so we don't really see them. Very interesting, this is not going in because the bracket, the holes are not far apart enough. And now I can see this one is sideways, so these brackets are wrong. Ha! Talk about precision working, Yamaha. God damn it. Now to force this into place. So this side goes in perfectly, you see? 3 screws are in nicely. The other side is not. So at this point I gotta say that installing the shad cases was actually easier than installing the Yamaha cases on a Yamaha motorcycle. Yeah, funny how these things go, huh? So I'm saying this is funny, but it's not funny at all. I'm dripping in sweat. My back is killing me from being hunched over trying to screw this in, and no success. Now I have a ride in 2 days. I need the cases and this thing doesn't fit, and it just... So this is literally 30 seconds after my last message, and I looked at this again and I just realized, what do you guys see here that it's odd? You might not be able to see on the camera, but that one is in one position and this one is in another. So the angle there goes down and the angle here goes up. So I looked at the instructions and lo and behold, Mr. Stupid here was installing it in the wrong way. So I take back everything I said about Yamaha and about how difficult this is, and I'm gonna hide myself in a hole and maybe wait a few days and record everything again. I'm not gonna do that, but yes, it was my fault, so stupid me. I'm not going to cut this stuff because that's just what happens. So what we learn from this is, if you are going to install these cases, be careful with the position that you want to screw this in, because being upside down means it's one of the holes is half a millimeter off. That's the only difference. And if they were not off by that half a millimeter, I would install everything in the wrong way, and then when I would put the cases, they would not fit. So I'm glad this happened actually right now. I would also like the instructions to be a little bit more clear. It's really difficult to see which position to put in. And actually I've only realized because I've installed the other one, and when I sat here, I looked across and I said, wait a minute, these two are not in the same position. So yeah, let's continue with that and live and learn. So I'm gonna install the other side, remove the foot peg, screw, put the plate in, then screw the foot peg again and screw the adapter with Loctite. I'm not gonna film because it's basically the same process. It's gonna be slightly easier because I don't have the reservoir for the rear brake. So it's easier in the sense that there's one less thing here that needs to be juggled to screw this in, but otherwise it's the same process. So left side is done as well. It was not as easy as I thought it would be because it doesn't have the brake reservoir, but it has the preload adjustment for the rear spring. So there's also an extra bracket there that we need to align. It's not too difficult, but it's just you need to hold all of this while you're aligning and screwing. But yeah, this is installed. So now the next step, let me show you here if you can see. So you see, these are the two plates that I installed together with those brackets for the bags, and now there is a metal bracket that just unites these two. I guess this is just a reinforcement. So that's what we're going to install now.